This is the first time since I weaned this group that they're going through to get weighed. So what I'm going to do is my udder evaluations. There, see? Really hard. So don't even ask how this one happened. Good morning, you guys. The weekend is over, apparently, because my to-do list is huge this week. We are back to business. Lambing is just about done. There's maybe 6 left, I think, last I counted. I blew a belt across the road on that pellet feeder, part of the proportioner, and I forgot about it Friday when I kind of signed off for the weekend. And Carissa texted me last night. She goes, "You may want to remember that belt today." I'm like, right. Because I don't want them running out of feed, because that can be bad. So I'm running in to do that. I'm gonna change that auger belt first thing and get those feeders filled back up. And then all day today is going to be, I have to weigh some lambs. I gotta weigh those lambs. I haven't weighed them in a few weeks, those market lambs, because we're thinking about doing some more meat boxes, Belinda and I, for maybe the Civic Long Weekend in August. It's gonna be a busy few weeks here in and around the farm. Not so much lambing for you guys. I've got a ton of stuff going on this week, sheep management wise. So I'm evaluating udders today and sorting ewes. Tomorrow I'm putting in cedars, and Wednesday we're shearing the rams and shearing my ewe lambs that didn't get bred in January. I kept them back, so we got to shear those because they are woolly beasts. So just a lot of stuff going on this week, and just kind of a little detour from lambing. Lambing's pretty much done. Definitely when this group's done, I will give you the results of this group, which are not going to be great because they all had singles. All right, I'll check in a bit. Okay, I have a new belt, and this is what I'm kind of dealing with here. So this is the motor that burnt the belt. So I have to just take the shield off. And then what I need to do, Mark just said make sure the pulley runs free, because the worst thing we can do is put the belt back on and have the new belt burn off. So they are hungry. There is something plugging it. So now we go outside. So if you guys can believe it, I got it going, and what's happening is I have a limit switch in here, right in here, and it's been fixed a couple times before, and it's not shutting this off. So then the grain is coming up here and plugging here, and the motor's still trying to go. So I put the new belt on, and I got everything clear, made sure there's nothing plugging it outside. Started back up, everything worked, and it shut off. So I'm like, sweet. And then I walked to the feeder, and it freaking burnt again. So it started back up again, or did something. I could smell it, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm frustrated. So we'll get this fixed. Okay, we set up our whole handling system over here. This is the first time since I weaned this group that they're going through to get weighed. We're only taking 4 lambs and we're putting them in this pen for now. I'm looking for 4 lambs at around 100 pounds. And I'm looking for ram lambs specifically because my ewe lambs in this group, I want to sort and see which ones I want to keep back as replacements. So this is kind of the first time I've weighed them for a bit. So we'll see how they do. So we ended up with barely had 4. One is only 92 pounds, a ewe lamb. I wasn't gonna ship any ewe lambs, but this one is a Suffolk sired and I don't want those as replacements, so it was fine. And the other ones were about 102, 101 to 103 pounds. So we will feed them all up here in the manger and I'll ship them first thing in the morning. Well, the morning is finally almost over. That took way longer than it should have. It's just one of those Mondays, and I think we all know what those Mondays can be like. So yeah, I got the belt fixed for the second belt, and I think it's working. I can't really run the feeders because I don't want to gorge my lambs, so I guess I'm gonna see tomorrow how that goes. Now I want to just tag the lambs that were born on the weekend. I think she said there were 6 that lambed when I was gone. So I just want to get that done, and then this afternoon is busy. Danny's going to come and bale the rest of that hay, and then I want to go through the whole evaluation of those ewes that I kind of went through the paperwork last week, went through the weaning weights, and figured out kind of who is a question mark and who needs to go and who needs to stay. And then I kind of have to do some math on how many rams I actually want breeding at one time, and I'm probably going to split this whole breeding group in half because I have too many ewes. So that's all for this afternoon, so stay tuned for all that. Thought I'd run out here and show you what was left of our hay. So that is what we harvested last Thursday. We need rain. As you can tell, it's pretty burnt off. It's coming, which is surprising. So Mark on Saturday came out here and just put 2 rows into one with our bat rake. He said it was just still wet enough underneath. He wanted to make sure it got lifted and kind of fluffed up a bit. And then we just put 2 into one for Dan because he'll want more. It was pretty thin for just 1 row for him to come and do. However, it's not going to be that big of a day for him. He's just going to do those 5 rows, which isn't much. But it is dry. That is like the driest I've ever had our hay. So this heat is good for that, I guess. It's actually kind of exciting. You guys, this is where we have Duke buried. Like, do you think she knows? Isn't that crazy? Is that where your buddy is? Is that where Dookie is? Hey? Is Dookie there? Where's Duke? Where's Dukekins? Aww. You miss him? I miss him too. I miss him too. Yeah. Well, Danny is here with the baler. So I thought I'd get some footage of him baling. I don't have the drone, guys. Jack's back at work, so he's kind of my drone navigator, and Mark's busy in the shop, so I don't really want to bug him. But I'll get some footage of Danny baling, and then later I think we'll probably have to move those bales and put them in the lean-to under storage. Oh, he just got out. I hope there's no problem. Dan's machine is pretty cool. It's got an accumulator table hooked onto the back of the actual baler, so it's a large square baler. Those bales will probably be, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 800 pounds or so. And once he's got 3 or 4 on the back, then it just dumps. And then when we're picking up bales, we're not just picking up 1 at a time, we can pick up 4 in one spot type of deal. We do it in wheat all the time and it works really, really well. So pretty slick. Jess and Mark got all the bales picked up off the field, and they are just, oh, it makes me almost cry. I'm so happy. It's just dry and smells awesome, still green. So I think we got 18 bales, which, and these are 7-footers, so they're a bit bigger than my usual ones, but they're still smaller than Belinda's, which were huge. So this will last for a while, and people have been asking me, like, why do you need dry hay? We actually feed these bales, we feed dry hay to the market lambs, so I always make sure they have free choice hay along with their grain. So this will hold us through for a while. We're hoping to get a third cut, and we'll probably bale third cut, and that's all depending on if it looks like we're going to have enough rain to do a fourth cut, because we do still need one more bag across the road for chopped hay. So we will just play by ear. If we have to buy dry hay, then so be it. But this will hold us through for a while, so that's really good. Okay, I've got all my ladies lined up. These are the ones that I separated last week. So these are the open ones. What I'm going to do is all the ones that have a single line, they will get put back with the ewes that are going to get seedered tomorrow. They're going to get a second chance. But if they have 2 lines on their back, then they're going to get shipped this week or next week, depending on how the week looks. There's not many that have 2 lines now that I'm actually in here. So what I'm going to do is scan their tag, and if they have open at scan twice in a row, that just means I can't see their blue line. But I think for the most part I should be able to see their line. And then they're going to kind of get dumped back in the pen. And the ones that are going to get bred are going to go to the left into the feed alley. And then I've got the two, the A and the B weaned ewes. I'm going to go through them today too, and go through my numbers. These are the ones that I went through all my data on my Gallagher the other day on the computer. I just hand wrote, I think I only had 12 or 10 ewes that I wanted to either check or definitely put on the ship list. And the rest of everything is just going to be, again, all put on my Gallagher, and I'll show you kind of how I do that as I go. But for these ones, you've kind of already seen me go through these. I'm just going to basically divert them one way or the other, so you're not going to miss too much with these ones. Once I get the other group in here, I'm going to do udder evaluations, and I do that all the time after they've been dried off. So I will try to get the camera in there. It's really, really hard to get good footage of the udder evaluation. So I'll just explain what I'm doing. I'm going to palpate her udder, which just means a manual check with my hand, check for any lumps, and then if I can, just kind of put some pressure on the teat canal to make sure there's no hard core in that teat. And if there's any udder damage, then they don't get a second chance. They will get shipped. So that is what is going to happen right now. So I'll just show you. I'm going to scan this ewe, and I think she's already had a blue line on her. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to activity. I'm going to go to history and see what she did last time. So she was open at scan this time, and she was open at scan in April. So that's her second miss. So that means she gets an X and she gets shipped. So now I'm just going to go through and check the rest. Okay, I've got the first half of that weaned group of ewes. So what I'm going to do is my udder evaluation. So you'll see me go through and just go, I'm going to start at the back and work my way up. And I'm just going to palpate those udders. And if I feel a bad one, then I'll grab the camera and show you what I'm seeing. Okay, I have one that I'm not sure if I can show you the udder, but her left side is really lumpy. It doesn't really look lumpy from, I don't think it'll look lumpy, but I can feel a lump internally. I'll see if I can show you. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You know what? It's too hot to fool around. I'm gonna let these guys out. I'm sure there'll be another one I can show you guys. The other thing too is I have to check my list to make sure they're not on this. So this is when it's nice. I wrote on this Ewes number right there that I was to check, and I did check, and sure enough, the data correlates with her udder. So there's obviously something wrong with those weights on those lambs. So that matched, and I already crossed her out. Okay, unfortunately there wasn't that many in this group, and even the ones that I palpated the udders, there weren't very many bad udders. It was just all weaning results. So all the data I collected last week on the computer is what most of these out of that first group, those are most of the ones I collected out of that group. I don't think there was many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 in that group. So. And that included the ones that were open last week. So I'm going to go for Group B and see how many we got there. Okay, I found the perfect ewe to show you guys what a ewe looks like that A, had mastitis, B, has a totally not good udder. There, see? Really hard. She's lost her wool because when you get an infection, she probably had a fever and she dropped her wool, but it's already grown back. It's okay. So yeah, she's gonna get a red X on her back. That actually went quite well. We only had 16 ewes that I'm going to ship. I can't remember how many, maybe 3 of them were maybe the misses, and then the rest were, I think there was really only 2 with really bad udders, really hard. which indicates to me they had some mastitis. So, and then the rest were really just based on the data I collected on my the lambing information data. So weaning weights, or if she lost a lamb at birth, or whatever notes I wrote helped me really quickly pick out 16 of the worst ewes that I have in this group. So I think they are all good to ship. Just that one questionable one with mastitis, I just have to check her withdrawal date, and if she's okay, then she seems to be in good health. She's eating to ship. I put the other ewes, so there's a group there. That's group A, and group B is back in the corner. And I have those ewe lambs that I held off and I didn't breed them. They're the ones that missed the January breed. So they've been sitting around taking up valuable real estate for quite a while, not really earning their keep. So if they don't breed this time around, they're actually going to go too. Charlie is coming on Wednesday to shear my rams. I'm going to get him to shear those girls too, because they are nicely over a year old now, so they need trimmed up. If they had lambed when they were supposed to, they'd be lambing with the group lambing right now, and they'd be all nice and sheared up. So that's why they are woolly, little woolly beasts. I mean, nice in the summer to get that off them, and I think they'll be able to breed easier too. I think the boys can find their target a little nicer if they're trimmed off. I think that's pretty much step one of this process. These udders I'm really happy with in this group, so I'm thinking I'm getting ahead of, these culling decisions are helping. My dry off program is working. Just a refresher for those that are new with me, to dry off my ewes, I try to aim for a week to 10 days before I want to take the lambs off, and I just change it to a really low energy ration. So if you have some old dry hay or grassy hay, or just something that maybe higher fiber, so they stay full and they don't get hangry, but they don't need that added extra energy and protein that stimulates milk production. So between that, the lambs have to try really hard to get milk, because she's really starting to slow up on milk. And then they eat way more creep. Their creep almost doubles, I would say, and they get on water because they're not getting a lot of fluids from mom. So that's kind of stage one. And then when I actually pull the lambs off mom, she dries off quick, because that's that last trigger in her brain that says, oh, I don't have anything stimulating my milk production, which is a lamb trying to nurse. So that has worked. I've done that for over a year now, and I think I'm staying ahead of mastitis. I had a few cases when they were actually in lactation, so that's not, I wouldn't say that's my dry off protocol that's doing that. That's just, they've picked up something in that group, and if you remember, that group also had ORF. So there could have been a myriad of issues of why they picked up mastitis, but I think there was really only 2 that I see now, the effects of it, and hopefully I will ship them and we won't have that problem when they go to lamb again. That's step 1, and step 2 is tomorrow when Chris and I will put in seeders. It's nice with a big group to have help. I have 2 applicators. She's gonna fill one as I empty one, and it's just nice. She's my assistant, and it just works out real nice. It takes a lot longer if I have to do that stuff by myself. So thankful she's here. It's going to be a hot day, so we're going to start that bright and early in the morning when it's a bit cooler out. So I kind of left everything all set up still. I cleaned the floor because I feel guilty, because Carissa always leaves my floors so clean that I just feel awful leaving them a mess for her. So I did try to kind of sandy clean them, which is not very clean. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll get the rest of how we cedar these guys and get ready for our next breeding group, which will be 12 days from tomorrow.